Hey everyone, how's it going? Octopus here and welcome back to evercrisis. We're going to be tackling Critical Sephiroth, the first one. We're going to do the second one later on. I think I'm capable of doing it, but for now we're going to talk about this one. This is my free-to-play account, day one. We're not going to do the no overboost for this for reasons, but we're going to talk about different strategies, different characters, different setups, what happens in the fight, what you can do to avoid it, and try to emphasize how fast you can get through this or not. Now, when it comes to this, I'm going to showcase an elemental build, aka Arcanium, on two of my characters because I've emphasized in all my pull or skip videos, Arcanium is very powerful. If you focus on one character or two and get all their sub weapons and their main weapon as high as possible, they can pretty much do whatever they want in all the content. And this is what this account is. So I'm going to showcase how I beat it, but I'm going to give you tons of advice during the fight and outside the fight to help you with your account, because no one's account is exactly the same. Everyone has different DPS, everyone has different healers. So let's jump in, talk about Sephiroth, and let's get you that clear. Alright, we're gonna run this guide a little bit differently. I'm gonna focus on a character. This is my healer. I'm gonna explain to you why the healer is built the way it is, and then give you other options. So, my Aerith is running an event weapon that has heal of 27 on it, Fairy Tale, which is our AoE heal, and then we got a 3-star heal materia here for when we got to do the single target Octa/ heals. Sub weapons, same idea. It's all heal weapons, and then the new event weapon, Lucia's weapon, has HP and defense up in order for her to survive an Octa/ if she does get hit. She's got magic defense of 164, and that's pretty much her build. I do have a 5-star materia, but it's only got a heal 5.4 because I wanted more heal. So my build is just bringing in as much heal percentage as possible. So even though it's a 5-star materia, my 4-star materia is better than my 5-star materia. So 5-star materia doesn't mean that I have some crazy materia there. It's just what was my next best thing for healing. So I got my healing to 2,414. This is to survive this phase right here. So in the start of the fight, he uses his, I think it's called Heartless, right? It always brings you down to 1 HP. It's the gravity spell, right? After that, you can see he's going to go into Magic Torrent, which is a magic attack. What you guys can do here is raise your magic defense with Cloud's Bandage Sword, Matt's weapon that increases magic defense, Red 13, Glenn has a weapon, Aerith has a Mithril Rod. So depending if you guys are using those guys for a DPS, you can use that during this phase, and then your healer only has to heal like once or twice, and you're good to go. In my case, I'm going to go ahead and double heal and get past this. So Aerith double healing gets me to 4,600 HP, and you can tell Shadow Flare here is a magic attack because it's got a wand, not a sword, beside the name Shadow Flare. So Aerith, all she had to do, or your healer, all they had to do for this phase, and it's the only time it's going to be a problem, is make sure whatever damage you take here, you can heal it. You can raise people's magic defense in order for them to take less. Aerith has the most magic defense in the party, around 160. She only took 3,506, the first number. Cloud taking 4,469, and Sephiroth taking 4,290. That's because their magic defense is at 110. So if you had everyone at 140-ish HP, you only need to heal up to 4,000 HP. So keep that in mind to get through this part. It's the hardest part, is making sure that you have a good build, but able to survive this without bringing in too much. You can bring in triple mana up, right? Raise your magic defense. You can use those AoE weapons, or you can just make your healer be a full healer, which works out too. So that's Aerith. All right, so next up is Sephiroth. Sephiroth is my second DPS, not my main DPS, but he is rocking the Arcanium setup, which means he's doing 35% more damage with Ice Potency, which is going along with Edge Wings at OB4 and Shiva as a summon. Again, for the materia here is wind materia because there's a phase where Sephiroth will be vulnerable to wind. So if your DPS can do a bunch of wind damage, you're going to do very good here. But we're emphasizing my Arcanium setups. Even though it's not the same elemental weakness, they're still going to do good damage. But key factor here is the weapon that's currently in the shop for the tickets. So if you're as long as you're playing Sephiroth event, you'll get this weapon. Torn Wings increases your physical defense up by mid-tier. And this is the key factor number 2 besides the first phase. We've got Boundless Strength, where Sephiroth's about to do a lot of physical damage, and he targets one unit, which is Aerith. You can see by the little orange target icon on her. So she's the one being targeted. So we're going to switch over here to Sephiroth, grab that defense up from our vent weapon, and we raised Aerith's defense up by 2 tiers. And we stacked that physical defense like I talked about to 120 so she can survive this hit. So that's why Sephiroth is here as the sub DPS with utility, allowing us to survive those attacks. And then Aerith, boop, with all that healing, that single target heal comes into play, fully healing me in one cast, leaving me plenty of ATB to fool around for sigil breaking or more healing. So that's what Torn Wing is for. The rest of Sephiroth build is to bring him to max boost magic attack. Ice potency is only at level 4, 2 points off from level 5, and then nothing else special. Boost attack's not even level 3. You can see his sub weapons is an event weapon, and an OB2 ice weapon from Matt. This is to bring up magic attack and defense. Matt's weapons, magic attack, and ice potency, and this event weapon is for the HP and defense up, so he can survive Octaslashes, because he's only at 5,699 HP, but he's got power defense of 165. So that's how I built my Sephiroth. I could have built him differently. You could do Sephiroth, wind damage, physical build, very powerful. Your DPS could be Tifa, with also doing motor drive, wind damage. Aerith could be a DPS with that Mithril Rod for defense up of magic, and using Prism Rod. She also has the Arcanium Wind costume. There's a lot of wind options out there, but we're doing just an Arcanium setup. So that is Sephiroth's build and why he's using what he's using. Wind materia for damage during that one phase, that has magic attack on it, and then his X sigil is on the proper weapon slot, giving him the ability to take down 5 X sigils in one cast. All right, so now that we talked about the utility and everything, my healer, what they're doing, my sub DPS, how they're helping, your main DPS can be whatever you want. If you got the new Fire Cloud with his fire costume, you use Ifrit. If you have Tifa with her Arcanium costume and ice setup, you use Shiva as your summon. Whatever your strongest DPS is, you bring them in specifically just to DPS and nothing else. They're going to be your main damage dealer. I'm emphasizing Cloud here because, again, I focused on one character. You can see my other characters don't have overboost weapons or proper setups. That's because all my eggs are in one basket, kind of. Like I pulled for other banners, I got costumes, right? But my true DPS, I've always wishlist everything that is lightning damage, including Murasami, and this is the outcome of that. Now you can see that I'm not at over 4,000 attack, and I can make this Cloud 4,000 attack plus with a different setup. You probably can do way more physical attack or about the same. Around 3,000 or more is what you need for your main DPS. And my ability here is boost lightning potency level 8. So everything on Cloud is where it needs to be to give him that ability that he can use lightning damage on any enemy in the game as long as they don't resist lightning. He can be used for all the content, and that's what I've been doing. So because we have boost lightning level 8, we're doing an additional lightning ability damage plus 100%. His Arcanum costume gives us 35% more lightning damage, which applies to Ramuh, and that's why we're using Ramuh as our summon. And then we got our attack up to 3,590 using all these weapons here. These weapons are here for lightning damage, boost attack, lightning damage, HP for survivability, and lightning damage and physical boost attack so that we hit that level 7 for the max damage. Now, if I were to come in here and take away lightning damage and switch this off and just go for something that's like physical attack and just pop a really high physical attack like Final Fantasy, you can see 3,768, right? Shinra Blade 369, right? So I can pretty much bring something else in here to really boost his attack even more, but I want to emphasize if you stack your potency, ice, lightning, fire, wind, whatever you guys got, you're going to see how much damage that can work. You could also just bring a non-elemental build. There's a phase that Sephiroth has where he's immune to pretty much all elements, but you can still use non-elemental. Yeah, just focus on your DPS, and all of their sigils or all of their materia is just going to be there to boost his whatever you need. More HP, more physical attack, a combination of both so he can survive. The one thing I did bring in here was Apocalypse. I don't know why I brought it. I don't know. So that's my Cloud. That's my entire team setup. That is why I brought what I brought. You guys can go pure wind DPS with multiple wind characters, including your healer having wind damage on them, and probably just beat them during the wind phase. Don't break any sigils, and just win damage, and you will probably get through that with more than half HP gone, and the rest is smooth sailing. As long as your healer can still heal, and you can survive the attack that comes for not breaking the sigils, you'll do great. You'll do really, really good. Now, for how this is going to go, I'm going to show you step by step where I made mistakes, what I can improve on, and what I could have brought in instead, and hopefully that gives you guys an understanding how to beat this fight. So let's jump right in. Alright, so I ended up beating the fight, and I recorded it, so this is all pre-recording. The first part is that you're going to switch to your healer, play manual mode, and control your attack and defense as much as you guys can. You can see already the Cloud is doing 12,000 damage without even being at the 50% mark from the extra boost here, but we're going to go defense mode. The first attack, just get your HP down to 1. Heartless Angel. That's going to happen many, many times. Your job here, full HP Aerith, you're going to heal up twice, and that's going to let you survive like I showed you ahead of time. If not, you're bringing up all 3 characters with materia to raise defense or weapons to raise your magic defense, because if you look at his Shadow Flare, it says a magic wand. You know you have to have magic defense for that. So raise your magic defense or heal fast enough that you can out-heal the damage. Either one works. 3 materias for magic defense up, a weapon that does AoE magic, or just lots of heals. Now that we survived, we heal again. We're going to mainly play on our healer here. The only time you switch to your DPS is during the win phase to make sure they use their win damage attack. I didn't do that. It was a mistake. So here, he's just going to do an onslaught of attacks. We're just DPSing. Cloud's doing about 15,000 damage. Now, this is the win phase. You can see he's in the win setup right now. You can do X and triangle, and he takes extra win damage. If I actually switched to Cloud to stop him from doing Runra and did his win damage, we would have done way more DPS here. But I was like, I'm going to heal for some reason, which is good. You need to survive. And by the time I came here, he only had 3 sigils left. So big mistake. Try to control the sigils on your characters and try to control your DPS for that. We would have done way more DPS. So back to the healer we go. We screwed up the win phase, and that's where I made a big mistake. It could have been way more damage because my Apocalypse does 600%, which is really nice. So now I'm switching over to Sephiroth for the reason, if you're wondering what that debuff that we just got, the Crying Face, that stops our limit break from charging faster. But we switch it to Sephiroth because we're waiting for an attack. Don't do it. Stay on your healer, heal up, right? Do more DPS. But you can see I'm trying to save my mana so I can cast and wait for Boundless Strength. I can cast physical defense up like I talked about. So another mistake I made there. Sephiroth could have been doing more DPS. Another thing is, once your summons are up, use them immediately. But Octoslash here is a single target. Whoever they target, you raise their defense, switch to defense mode, and you're good to go. They're going to survive. Cloud has, I think, 120 physical defense. So try to use your summons right before he casts any ability to stop him. Do your damage, and he has to recast it. That way, like especially Elemental Fusion, I could have made him recast that. So during Elemental Fusion, non-elemental damage weapons do a lot of damage here. So if you guys have them, Glenn's new weapon, Final Fantasy 9 weapons, tons of damage there. But straightforward, go ahead and just break all those sigils. So make sure you save your ATB and be ready for that phase. Now, something weird happened here. I think he took that ice damage. I don't know. It didn't really show it, but it showed him going backwards. And yeah, I don't know what happened there. But once that phase is done, we kind of just save our healer's ATB because she's healing so much. She can just sit there and be ready for those sigil breaking phases, which will be coming up. During this is just a little bit of damage. He's going to just tickle you. This is your chance to do a lot of DPS, but don't spam all your ATB because he has a lot of sigil phases. Now, here's a mistake. I didn't give my healer anything else but healing because I had to survive that first phase where your healer could be helping with DPS. But once we went out of that non-elemental phase where we can't use elemental damage, we're back to another Octoslash. Same idea, switch to Sephiroth, raise the defense of the character being targeted, go in defense mode, and with that defense up from the event weapon, we survive with plenty of HP. If your defense is high enough, you don't even need to put that defense up on that weapon. That's just there for extra safety. Now he's about to cast something, Pulse of the Planet, Judgment Bolt. I stopped him. Right, we're going to do tons of damage here because Cloud is built for lightning damage, so Ramuh gets good lightning damage, 34k, and now he has to recast that if you did it properly. I didn't. Again, another mistake. Heartless Angel, if you see Heartless, your HP is going down to 1. It's only single targets on Cloud, so get your healer ready to do the Cura materia, not your AoE, your single target to get him fully back up. If you're in a really bad position for ATB and you're using Air, she's got a healing limit break. Mistake number tons. I should have brought in a DPS, not healing wind, but you'll see where it comes in handy. So after Heartless, he does Octaslash. The Heartless on a single target is to get their HP down really, really far. And this is a test of your healing, right? 1 HP, you've got to heal it fast enough, and you got to throw defense up on that character to get them to survive. So that's why ATB management, don't just spam your DPS and don't just spam your healer. Have the healer ready at every moment. Now we're going to go ahead and heal up here. Get Cloud a good place. He's going to do a couple attacks, but he's going to do a sigil break that's going to be very, very quick, and you've got to be ready for it. So you can see I used Diamond Dust to stop that attack. He has to recast that attack now. I actually was successful there. Diamond Dust, Arcanium, Costume, Ice Build, 23,000. Now he's going to go ahead and target Aerith again. I'm going to go defense mode, heal. So not only do I take less damage, I also get through that heal. Everyone's nice and healthy because Aerith is just a beast right now. Even though I'm using event weapons. But after that is where you need sigils. He's going to go into this 5 where you have to... Oh, no, that's a Heartless Angel. That's afterwards. I'm not even there yet. Wow, we're going through this so fast. But Heartless Angel, again, this version is AoE, and this is where it comes in handy. So like I said, Healing Wind this entire time, I didn't need it. But here, I use it because he's going to be using Masamune in waiting. AKA, you have very, very few window, or very small window to get through this. So you have to have all your ATB available because you got to cast 5 abilities or Diamond Sigil to get him down. So because we had all our ATB, I didn't use Aerith for healing. I used her Healing Wind. It worked out. Could you have done it without Healing Wind? Yeah. Yeah, I think so. As long as your ATB was fine and you didn't heal there, you were fine. He wasn't attacking us, so it's okay. So he just casted something. I used my limit break to stop that. We're down to the last little bit of HP. He should have been pretty much dead. Again, it didn't work because I wasn't quick enough. He's a very fast caster, so you kind of have to predict it. But he's doing Octaslash again. He just finished doing the Heartless Angel, bringing our HP down to 1. And usually when you see that, Octaslash is coming up. So we got everyone full HP. We switched to Sephiroth, raised his own defense, and he still died. 6,202 is the key part during this phase, or have more physical defense. I didn't have enough HP or physical defense, so I lost a DPS, but I wasn't worried because we're able to heal through this and go through all these phases again, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But just make sure your characters are over 6,000 HP or lots of physical defense. That's the key factor here, is just kind of surviving, right? So this is another sigil break here. It's good that Cloud has ATB, and so does Aerith. I'm not going to heal. I'm going to wait it out. There it is, another in waiting, and we just cast the abilities, and we've got enough. Like I said, we didn't need to heal, just like last time, so it's not a big deal that I didn't bring Healing Wind, and I should have brought Ifrit, because Ifrit would have canceled animations on attacks, would have done damage, so on and so on. But that's the entire fight. That's how I did my setup. A lot of Heartless, so that's why Cura is there, so you can do single target healing. That's why we got the AoE heal, and Aerith as high as healing as possible, just so we can survive through all this. So there's the full clear, and then I let it play all the way through, so I can show you guys that I use the exact same setup. There was no like, oh, I changed my materia, or changed anything. No, I screwed up Apocalypse. I didn't need to bring that in. I could have brought in something else since I didn't switch to it. And even so, Apocalypse needed a lot more than just Apocalypse because you need some kind of wind damage. Apocalypse doesn't do wind damage. It just increases wind damage. I forgot to put a 4-star wind blow in there. But that's the entire run. Lots of mistakes. Lots of things you guys can change. Hopefully something here helps you guys out to beat Sephiroth and get you that 500 blue crystals. If you guys have any other builds you want to leave down below for the community, please do in the comment section. Just be like, this is what I used, this is what I ended up doing, this is how much attack I had, and then give people ideas of what you guys ended up doing, just so they have more ideas than just this one strategy. I know I dropped a lot of information, but anything you guys can add for the community always helps. Besides that, thank you guys so much for watching, keep on smiling, and I'll smell you later.